talk about the big boy, L&T. Well, the company has signed a contract worth around 7,669 crore rupees with the Defence Ministry for procurement of CIW, that's close-in weapon systems. To discuss this and more, as well as how is their business shaping up, Mr. Arun Ramchandani, the Executive Vice President, joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Ramchandani. Thanks so much for joining in, sir, on a Saturday morning. This is a rather large order. Give us a few details of it. What could be the execution timelines of this, the potential margins as well, and what does this take your order book to?
Okay, so by the end of this financial year, we hope to have an order book north of 26,000 crores for the defense segment. We did, with these orders now in our order book, we have potential to execute these over the next 5 years, and deliveries will start very soon within the next 2 years.
Okay.
I would probably, Go ahead.
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, just to brief you a little bit about the orders, we have the close-in weapon system and the high-power radar system, both for the Indian Air Force. And both of these contracts would be executed now simultaneously, and we would be delivering into various Air Force locations over the next 5 years.
Okay. So, sir, you have a strong order book on hand when it comes to the defense space. What can you guide the market for going into FY25 when it comes to incremental order inflows?
So we have a couple of orders that are in the pipeline. We have the repeat of the K9 Vajra systems, for which we have completed the contract negotiations, and we expect the Cabinet Committee of Security approvals in the near term. We have various other systems that we are looking at, like the CIWS. There are the air defense guns for the Indian Army, which we are looking at. And of course, there are a plethora of other systems that we are working on. So overall, we see a continuing trend in our order book, and we are quite hopeful that we will see growth of significant growth in the order book in FY25 as well.
Okay, all right. Mr. Ramchandani, give us a few details. I think you said by the end of this fiscal, the order book goes to around 26,000 crores. Did I get that correct?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. And in FY25, what kind of a revenue number should we look at from the defense segment? Some part of this 26,000 crores will get executed. So you've given us the broad timeline. 5 years, all the 26,000 crores get executed. But if you could break it up for us year-wise, FY25, FY26, what could revenue recognition look like? And also a rough idea on the margins?
So all I can say at this point is that we do expect significant growth in revenue numbers year on year. We should report good growth in revenue this year as well, and in the following year.
Let's quantify it, sir. Mr. Ramchandani, let's quantify it a little bit. Should we look at a 15 to 20%, 20 to 25% on a low base? I think sky's the limit. So quantify it. Give us a broad range at least. And you were getting to the margin front, which I would like to hear as well. Please go ahead.
So I'm going to be a little guarded on this and not give you any numbers right away, just, because of any future speculation. But I can just firmly confirm that we will see good growth on revenues, and on margins as well. We should see some growth on margins.
Okay.
These are, of course, the early phase of these order executions. So the impact will not be that significant, but we do see some growth on margins as well.
Okay. So, Mr. Ramchandani, just want to understand the potential opportunity from this space. I wanted to understand what exactly is happening when it comes to upgradation of legacy weapon systems, not only in India, but in terms of the export market. How much of an opportunity is it for you currently? How much of your order book comprises of it? And that's probably going to be something which will have a lucrative, pipeline going forward as well, according to me.
So, see, many of the big ticket items are the new programs, but you're very right that both in India and abroad, and especially amongst the developing countries, there is a lot of focus on upgrading and modernizing legacy equipment. And this is something that we are very good at doing because our business strength comes from our in-house R&D, and we have the ability to look at systems which come from different backgrounds, origins, and legacy, and plug into them, bring in modernization into all of them. And we do see that both in the Indian market and in the international market, there is scope for such upgradations. Typically in the Indian market, we are now working on upgradation of the BMP2 ICVs, which are there in large number in the Indian inventory. And we believe that projects like that could have good scale. Likewise, there is potential in the international market for upgrade of legacy systems.
And just on the export market, how much is it as a percentage of order book? We do understand that there have been visits which are taking place by potential clients. What is the order book there and the potential?
So right now, the exports is small. I mean, it's just about 4 to 5% of the order book, but there is potential to grow. Of course, a lot of things are happening in the Indian market. The thrust on domestic production gives us ample opportunity to grow significantly in the Indian market. In the export market, we have to, entrench ourselves and then look at greater growth. But I would say that potential exists in both the markets. The export would over a period of time, probably settle at around 10% of the order book. But we still have some way to go for that level of export orders.
All right. So, Mr. Ramchandani, say by FY26, it moves to 10%?
We will see. We are targeting that kind of a scale.
Got it. All right. And, the opportunity size is something that we missed out, if you want to quantify that, because you all are bidding for various orders. But the potential, the total pie could be how big? And then you'll look to get a part of that.
So the total pie of orders run into trillions of rupees. And we are competing in many segments, right from the submarines to warships to the light tank, battle tanks, armored platforms, various land systems. So the potential is very big. At what rate all of these requirements will get converted into RFPs, into contracts, that needs to be seen. But I think the momentum is high, and I would expect that these would get converted and come into our order books in the years to come.
Okay. What about maybe narrowing in a little more on aircraft manufacturing? I understand that you're in the tier 1 space when it comes to that. You have expertise in submarines, but probably full-fledged aircraft manufacturing, is that something that you would explore?
For now, we are not looking at that. There are already other companies that are looking at aircraft integration and aircraft rollout. And we are looking to be part of that supply chain as a tier 1 player, whether it is in aerostructures, in avionics. And we've identified certain segments where we can have a play. So for now, we are not looking at that. We are certainly looking at unmanned aerial vehicles, and we are working on full-fledged unmanned aerial vehicle platforms. And these could be large platforms as well. So that would be our play in the aero sector.
Okay, all right, Mr. Ramchandani, it's a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for joining in on a Saturday morning and giving us an update. Orderbook headed to around, the mid 20,000 odd mark. Currently, exports only around 4 to 5% of the mix, but headed to around 10% by FY26. We wish you a good day ahead, sir, and wishing you and your team at L&T all the best. After all, defense for the country is of utmost importance. Appreciate you joining in.